Good afternoon, everybody. We are super excited to be here today for a One Woman Shop member spotlight. For those of you not familiar with One Woman Shop, we are a resource hub and membership community for female solo business owners. Today we are featuring Tai Stewart. I'm not sure how our squares are arranged here, but she's sitting underneath me, Cristina, right now. Okay, yeah. So Tai, why don't you take a second to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. Thank you for having me today. I'm the owner of Saidia Financial Solutions. It's a full-service accounting and tax firm. I handle business formations. I handle accounting and tax for individuals, and then also primarily for small businesses. So a lot of freelancers, husband and wife groups, just small businesses in general. So no, major corporations, but I like to work with, primarily small business owners.
Just like we do. Yeah. And what brought you to this kind of role?
Well, I've always been a math nerd. I've always liked math, always liked money. So put the two together. But yeah, ever since high school, that was my thing, was math. I actually started working on my degree in business and switched it over to accounting when I realized I really, really liked that. And then for some reason, I ended up working in the pharmaceutical industry while I was working my way through business college. So kind of took a little bit of a detour, but I've always been working with nonprofits. My dad was a pastor, and I kind of got my start in the nonprofit field primarily through him. He worked with missions. He worked with the drug addicted, with homeless people, and all of that. So kind of got my start in the nonprofit realm and just went from there.
Awesome. And I'm sure you take the burden of accounting off a lot of people that don't necessarily love that aspect of their business.
That's what I try to do. I kind of fell in love with this being my purpose when I started having a lot of people asking me about, different passions that they had, different things that they wanted to accomplish, different businesses they wanted to start. But it was like when they came to the paperwork and the IRS and, all of that stuff, it was like, what do I do? Where do I start? So I kind of free people up to focus on their passion, focus on what it is that they're really trying to accomplish, and take some of the burden off when it comes to, when should I file? How should I file? All of that.
Yeah, we love that. We obviously talk a lot about outsourcing on One Woman Shop. And so we definitely appreciate the people who allow us to eventually outsource the things that we either don't do or we do and don't want to be doing. So we appreciate people like you, Tai.
Thank you. I mean, I like taxes, which is weird. I'm weird like that. So yeah, a lot of people.
You and the IRS. I think those are the only people.
Yeah. Put me on the phone with the IRS. I'll wait on hold for 45 minutes to an hour for you.
And enjoy it.
Yeah,
awesome. Right. All right, so we'll dive in with some questions that we think can pretty much serve other business owners as well. And then we'll kind of wrap up with some rapid fire as well. So it'll be a fun 30-ish minutes. So let's start with the number one lesson you've learned since being in business on your own.
Well, I think the number one thing that I've learned is, that you have to have a really good, supportive group of people around you. I quit my job with a CPA firm in June of 2014, so it's almost 2 years now. And a lot of times, those closest to you don't quite understand what you're doing or why you would give up, that steady job, to work for yourself, to have fluctuating income and to kind of, be your own boss. But it really, really helps to have a supportive group of people around you, like the One Woman Shop and a lot of other groups that I'm in, of entrepreneurs and freelancers who kind of, understand the struggle and push you to keep going instead of pushing you to quit. So a lot of times people don't understand that, why don't you just go get a job? So you need that support.
Where are you physically located?
I am in Houston. Good old hot Houston, Texas. With small businesses all over the country, but yeah, right now I'm in Houston.
And do you have local in-person support networks as well, or do you rely on online support networks?
I have been primarily relying on online support, but I do have. I'm trying to branch out more because I'm still a little new to the city. I've been here 3 years, but I still say I'm new. So, just seeking out those business groups, those meetup groups that kind of have the same interest as you is really important. So I've been doing a lot more of that because
Awesome.
I'll spend a lot of my time on Facebook groups like One Woman Shop. I'm a member of FinCon. I think Carrie Smith is one as well. So I kind of tend to feed off of that energy from other entrepreneurs in the financial realm. So, but yeah, I am trying to branch out more into local groups. So.
Yeah, we obviously see tons of value in the online community, or we do what we do, but we think, sometimes you just want to meet up with someone in person. And I know Sara, goes to coffee shops and meet up with other entrepreneurs. I go to a co-working space. So definitely having that in-person energy can be a really good supplement to the online community, for sure.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, we don't even need to talk. Just sitting at a coffee shop table with somebody else that's also a freelancer can be really uplifting.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people like about co-working spaces. You don't really have to talk, but you have people around you who are still doing the same thing. And interestingly enough, I finally got a VA, and my VA is actually based here in Houston. So
awesome.
So just an A. Taking out the V. That sounded way more dirty than I meant it to. Anyway. So kind of connected to the last question, but we ask, what is a lesson, but we also have a question, what is the number one piece of advice that you would give to solo business owners? So what would that be?
Number one piece of advice I would give to solo business owners. Definitely, being that we're solo, we feel like a lot of times we're alone and we don't have that help. So I would say when you're starting that journey, especially, you're brand new, to start, building that team of people around you and seeking out that support and seeking out other people who are going through the same things that you are. Because it helps to know that you're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it can get frustrating.
It can. So we prepped you ahead of time. We gave you some questions. We also promised you that we'd go off track a little bit. But so I'm curious about your favorite social media platform. And I think it's particularly interesting with you because people think a lot of times accountants aren't probably the most social people on social media. But tell us your favorite platform.
That would be true. That would be true. I'm extremely introverted anyway, so yeah, anything I can do behind a keyboard is fine. I think my favorite social media right now is probably Facebook, just because it's kind of where I've been the longest, and a lot of my audience is there, and a lot of the business groups that I'm in are primarily based in Facebook.
Yeah, we definitely like leveraging the groups aspect of Facebook the most, I'd say.
Yeah, the community is really important. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you, as an accountant, do you feel at all resistant to using social media to promote your biz because of the nature of what you do, or do you not find that plays into it?
Early on, I didn't really understand as an accountant, that social media could be really useful. I think definitely it is extremely important to be in that. A lot of times I've gotten clients just from participating in Periscope, for example, and that's I'm not really periscoping a lot, but I am involved in other people's Periscopes. So just being active in that type of thing has gotten me clients. People are always asking questions, especially around this time of year. And a lot of the freelance groups and different things, they're asking tax questions. So I'll go in and kind of go in and answer some questions and, just be a help to people. So I find that a lot of times that really helps.
Yeah, that's a very good point, that if anyone out there is listening and kind of feels this pressure to be doing a lot of stuff on your own, to be running maybe your own blabs or to be running your own webinars, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, that you can also just kind of jump in and participate in other people's stuff. So good little lesson there, Tai.
Absolutely. Okay, so we love asking this question because the answers run the gamut. But what if you could do just one piece of your business all day long? What would it be?
Thought long and hard about that because there's so many things that I like doing. But I think if it was just one thing that I'd like to do all the time would be the business formation side of things. Because a lot of times that's what stops people from even getting started freelancing or running their own business. They don't know where to start. So a lot of times just helping startups, that really brings me a lot of satisfaction because they, have that freedom to go ahead and say, okay, I can do this. Because a lot of times that's an excuse that people use. Well, I don't know how to get started. So, but it's always in the back of my mind and, it's something I want to do. So I think one of the things that I would really like to do all the time is business formation, just helping people get that first step started.
Yeah. Awesome. And so sorry. I was going to ask, when is a perfect time for someone to come to you? Or maybe there isn't a perfect time and they can kind of come to you at any point. But do you have any insight on that?
They can come in at any point. I'm usually working on taxes all throughout the year. So it's not just a January to April thing. That's where the bulk of it is. But there's all types of things going on with the tax system. So any time of year is good for that. Anytime you want to get started, starting your business or, taking that leap to maybe start planning, well, how do I want to, go about getting my business started so I can quit my job and work full time for myself. Anytime is a great time for that. So I'm always here for that. I love when people are posting, hey, I quit my job and I'm working full time for myself. That's like so cool to me.
Yeah, it really is. So are you helping people actually determine the structures they should take, like sole proprietorship versus LLC, that kind of stuff?
Yes, I work with people who have questions on, what's the difference between an LLC and an S Corp and a C Corp, and how should I get started based on, what it is that the industry that I'm going into. So that's one thing that's like one of the first steps that we take is figuring out how you should be set up.
Awesome. And I have to ask, have you done anything around women-owned business certification?
I have resources to point women to if they are trying to get certified as a woman-owned business. And that's one of the other things that I pride myself on is being able to point people in a direction. If it's something I don't deal with personally, I do have, ways for them for them to call so that they can get that certification. But that's definitely that's one thing that a lot of people ask about. How do I get women-owned certified?
Awesome. That's awesome. We just had one of our members write a piece about it on our site as well. So it's a thing that's been on our radar a lot lately. Mm-hmm. But so be honest with us for a second. I know you say that obviously you have a full, a year-round job, but do you get some frantic emails in say like late February, March, maybe even the beginning of April, people who haven't planned ahead?
April 15th.
Yeah, maybe April 14th.
Yes, I actually had somebody give me their paperwork. And even though we had a whole weekend extension this year, we had a little bit of extra time. There was still people coming in on that day, on Monday. So it was
people hear extension, they're like, more time to procrastinate.
I got 3 more days.
Mm-hmm. And I've had people, it never fails, every year there's somebody who is like, I haven't done my taxes for the last 4 years. Can you do them for me? So I'm just like, how do you? Yeah. Every year there's somebody.
A good takeaway, I think, from today's blog would be do your taxes every year. Would you say that that's right?
Mm-hmm. It gets more expensive when you let it pile up. A lot of times CPAs and accountants will charge a little more to go back and do those because of the extra paperwork and things that they have to take, the time that they have to take to do them. So yeah, just do them every year.
Yeah, and what would you say to the person that was calling you or emailing you on April 15th this year to kind of set them up for success next year?
Well, for them, I usually go ahead and take their information and file them an extension because I'm still in the middle of doing returns. But I try to reach out a little bit early the year after, send them a reminder. They get an email reminder in December that, hey, tax season's about to start. Let's go ahead and start getting your paperwork in order now. And then, just reminders throughout January, February to kind of get started a little earlier. And some people it's a habit and they still wait till the last minute. And some people, do better the next year.
Always improving and evolving, hopefully. So that's actually a good segue into basically the processes that you have in your own business. And so we talk a lot about following up with people and about how that's a huge way to earn extra businesses. Following up to ask for it, following up to ask for referrals. So it sounds like you have a pretty good system in place to follow up with your clients. Is that right?
I'm gonna be honest. It can use improvement.
Okay. We like honesty.
Yeah, and it's been almost 2 years since I went full time for myself, and I did take a lot of the tips and tricks that I learned at CPA firms I worked for before to kind of help me get those processes and procedures in place. It is really important to early on. I would sign up for every type of software known to man to help me, and as I've kind of went through, it's been a little bit more easier to figure out what exactly I need. So I'm not spending money on tools that are just extra. But yeah, procedures especially are important, even when I'm marketing and getting new clients. So yeah, that's an ever, you can always make your processes better. So, and that's what I'm hoping with this virtual assistant that I hired to really help me to sharpen up those processes and procedures.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We definitely see that it's so easy, even for us, to get stuck in that shiny tool syndrome of, oh, there's something new, I better try it. And sometimes the easiest thing is just to put a recurring event on our Google Calendar, and that does the trick.
Exactly. Sometimes simple is better.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a client when I was doing digital marketing consultant who was like, I want to hold all my social media platforms. And he's like, but I don't want to maintain them. And I was like, no, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make you an Excel list of email addresses. And then sometimes you're going to contact those people. Done. Yeah, sometimes that's all you need.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Should we jump into some rapid fire questions?
Yeah. Boy.
You ready, Tai?
Let's do it.
All right. We're not very rapid, but we'll do our best. Okay, so this should be interesting. I'm curious about your favorite blog or website to check first thing in the morning.
Oh, that's a hard one. There's so many. A lot of them are my friends, so I'm always checking blogs. Probably one of the first things I do when I probably shouldn't do is check my email in the morning. So usually it's like whoever's email has come through first. So that could be John Acuff. I usually look at his first thing in the morning. Or it could be Letitia Stiles from LetitiaStiles.tv.com. A lot of times I'm, checking her emails out.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Guys, do it.
No one particular blog. It can change.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We have lots of resources to look at because we just launched 100 best sites for solopreneurs, but we'll have to add.
Yes, we started.
I got to see John Acuff speak at WDS last year, and he was great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
We have some disagreement with you over in the comments, but curious. We already asked you your favorite social media platform, but what is your least favorite social media platform, or the one you could care less about?
Snapchat. Yeah.
That's every time.
I haven't figured it out yet. I can't. I don't know. It took me forever to get on it because I was like, oh, that's for the kids, and everybody's like, no, it's good for business too. So I just got on it like 2 weeks ago and spent a day or two on it, and I was like, I'm over it.
I feel a bit like a dinosaur when I'm on Snapchat, but I'm trying.
I haven't even downloaded it. That's how much of a dinosaur I am.
Okay.
Awesome.
Tell us your favorite way to unwind after a long day in your solo business.
A movie. I'm on Netflix a lot.
Any good recent watches?
Not right now. I'm an 80s baby, so I'm stuck in the 80s and the 90s. So I'll go back and rewatch series, from whatever that's on, or watch old movies.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Nice. I have been obsessed with documentaries on Netflix. Okay, what is your... Sorry, what was that?
And then I was reading Coach Jenny's Still Arm Wrestling Snapchat.
We're in the Snapchat debate over there in the comments for those who are watching the recording. What is your favorite daytime or nighttime drink?
Hot chocolate.
Do you add whipped cream?
Yes.
Have to ask.
Yeah. Anything with chocolate or caffeinated. That's usually what I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. So you said you've been in your solo business for about 2 years almost. Mm-hmm. What is the best thing, and you might have to take a minute to think about this, the best thing you've ever heard about your business? From a client, from a friend, a compliment you've received, feedback, anything that you'd add to your rainy day file that we love to talk about?
I do. I'm actually starting to get better about that, thanks to you guys, about, asking for feedback and getting quotes and stuff like that. I wasn't really doing that a lot at the beginning. But I did have a client early on that was really excited that I helped him find over $1,400 in money wasted when I first came on board with him and took him on as a client, because he was, out and about and spending money and running his business and wasn't really paying attention to not even the bank statements, never mind profit and loss sheets. So was able to kind of tighten up things there and save him some money that way. So he was really happy about that.
That is awesome. We appreciate people who help us save money too.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, one thing, we want to give you a chance to give us a shameless plug for anything you're working on these days, or basically ways people can find you online, and then we'll give you one final wrap-up question.
Okay. So on social media, I am everywhere as TKS Tax Lady. So T is in Tom, K is in Kite, S is in Sam. I always have to do that. Tax Lady. I'm on Instagram there also as Saidia Financial, SAIDIA Financial. And right now I am finishing up a course that's kind of geared towards those who are starting a business, getting their, if they don't have an accounting system in place. I have some spreadsheet resources for them. So I'm in the middle of finishing that up so that they're able to go in and keep track of their money from the beginning. If they don't have the means or the resources to hire an accountant yet, there is a way to kind of keep those finances organized, as you start up. So working on that should be coming out in the next 2 weeks. And you can find me at saidiafinancial.com/newsletter to get those updates.
Awesome.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Just drop the link over in the chat.
Oh,
I just want to ask real quick too. This isn't actually a wrap-up question, but where did the name of your company come from, out of curiosity?
Oh, sure. So Saidia is Swahili root word that means to help or to aid. My dad was super instrumental in, helping everybody to learn to become entrepreneurs, work for themselves. He always encouraged us to, to work for ourselves. And so he passed away in 2011, which is what caused me to move to Houston. I'm the oldest of 8, by the way. So my mother was suddenly, a single mother. So I left. I was previously living in Memphis, so I moved from there to Houston to help her out with all my siblings and nieces and nephews. So it was just a nod to him because he was really big on the Swahili language and stuff like that. So when I named it, it just clicked. It means to help or to aid, and so my whole mission is to help that business owner to kind of come alongside them and assist them with meeting those goals that they have, following their passion and helping other people through what they do, by taking some of that burden off, like we talked about earlier, of dealing with taxes and accounting and all of that. So I'm just here to help.
I'm so glad you shared that story.
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked, Sarah, too, because I've actually, every time I've seen your business name, I've been like, that's such a cool name. I wonder where it came from. Never thought to ask. So good job, Sarah, and love the story, Tai. That's really neat.
Yeah,
so our final
question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really cool. So our final question is, what is hands down the best part of running your own business?
The flexibility, the not having to ask somebody, can I go on vacation so I can go to this conference, or to go meet up and do whatever. So it's really been great for me as far as flexibility, because I can manage. I have the power to arrange my day how I want to, which is sometimes that's a bad thing, because it's like, okay, there's so much I want to do, what do I do first? But that having that flexibility and not having to ask permission to to do things that are actually going to help my business is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, you're right. It takes so much more structure sometimes to have the flexibility. But I just want to say, you're a solopreneur when you say, I don't have to ask somebody to take a vacation to go to a conference. Yes. that's our definition of a vacation. I love it.
It's one of my favorite things.
So true. Awesome. Love it.
I can't tell if I lost you there, Cristina. Well, thank you so much.
I can't tell if I'm here or not.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Hi, we're so happy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's that Guatemalan Wi-Fi. We love it. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and everybody jump over to Tai's website with the link over there and get on that newsletter so you can see when her course launches. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. And thank you guys for all you do. The One Woman Shop has been really instrumental in helping answer a lot of my questions, and and having that support in that community that's going through, everybody's going through that same thing as building their businesses.
Yeah,
thanks for saying that. That means a lot.
We appreciate it. All right, have a great day.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.